Once again, we are going to meditate on the part two of the book of Ecclesiastes in the sermon which titled The Vanity of Life. Uh, Last week we meditated on verses 1, 2, and 3 of chapter 1. Tonight we are going to meditate 4 through 11. As we continue studying this wonderful book. Probably next time, or probably one more time, we do part 3 and then back to Proverbs, so you don't forget about Proverbs. Okay, so you're ready to receive God's word? Amen. Amen. So please join me with the book of Proverbs, and let me read to you once again, starting on verse 3. Just to remember, the question that we meditated last week that is very important. So just to stay where you are, let me read to you this. What profit has a man from all his labor in which he toils under the sun? And then our study tonight. One generation passes away, and another generation comes, but the earth abides forever. The sun also rises, and the sun goes down, and hastens to the place where it arose. The wind goes towards the south, and turns around to the north. The wind whirls about continually, and comes again of its circuit. All the rivers run into the sea, yet the sea is not full. To the place from which the rivers come, there they return again. All things are full of labor. Man cannot express it. The eyes is not satisfied with seeing, nor the ear filled with hearing. That which has been in what will be, that which is done is what will be done. And there is nothing new under the sun. Is there anything of which may be said, see, this is new? It has already been in ancient times before us. There is no remembrance of former things, nor will there be any remembrance of things that are to become by those who will come after. Looks like the preacher searching for the meaning of life. Vanity of life. That's the word that he mentions a lot. That's what we meditated last week. And also a phrase, under the sun, which say to see things under the world view, under this world, perspective. And the preacher, like I said, still searching for the meaning. And let me ask you a few questions, or let me remind you about a few questions. Questions like, why am I here? Why am I doing? These questions, are nearly everyone asks in some point in their life. But these questions, the author of Ecclesiastes look to address tonight in what we just read. Just a reminder about last week, in our introductory lesson we saw, I don't know if you remember, first of all, the author identifies in verse 1 the words of the preacher, son of David, king in Jerusalem. So the preacher, he identified as the preacher, as the son of David, king of Jerusalem, which we all believe that he's King Solomon. Why? Because when he shared about his wealth, when he shared about his activities, it clearly shows that he's Solomon, what he's talking about. But there will be some people who argue that he's somebody else. But we believe that Solomon is the one that we identify here as the author. But also, we meditate on the theme stated. And the theme stated is all is vanity. And when we say vanity, all is meaningless, all is futile, all is useless. And that was the theme stated, especially verse 2, it says very clear, vanity of vanities, says the preacher, vanity of vanities, all is vanity. So that's the theme stated. And of course, once again, life from early perspective, when we emphasize under the sun, or he emphasized under the sun. Is futile, is meaningless. Even on verse 14, he reminds us about these two. Verse 14, it says, I have seen all the work that are done under the sun, and indeed all is vanity and grasping for the wind. So we already are being reminded about the author identified last week, the theme stated, and once again, the question raised. Verse 3, this question, what prophet has, or we can say, what prophet is there for a man of all his labor under the sun? Or we can say like this, what benefit can one obtain from all his effort in this life? And do you remember what was the answer? Nothing. Nothing. Like Brother Pete reminds us, nothing. And when I say nothing, is once again under the view of this world, perspective of this world. In reality, is nothing. We have come naked, in the same way that we have come, same way that we're going to go. We're not going to take nothing. Our work, everything, our possession will be here, and it will be basically nothing. So in the first two chapters, Solomon demonstrates how he come to this conclusion of nothing. And from his observation regarding the cyclical nature of life and its apparent meaningless. I don't know if you notice the cyclical nature of life in what we just read. That's a good observation that he points. But also, he points from his own experience as he looked to find meaning to various avenues. As we look, continue looking in this book, we're going to see that he really tried different ways to find the meaning of life, but he really didn't find anything. He would keep saying meaningless. Everything is vanity. All is vanity. So we can see that. So as we continue to listen to the preacher, which is Solomon, as we read, we're going to find him describing what he called, or what different commentaries people call it, the futility observed in the cycles of life. And like Pastor Ed and Pastor Leo always say, I have three significant observations. I like it when they say it like this, it's very good. So I'm copying, but in a good way. So three significant observations, of the futility observed in the cycles of life. And if you want to write down, I will give you the first one. And the first one, is what we find in verse 4 through 7. It means nothing seems to change. Nothing seems to change. This is an observation that he had. Verse 4 says, one generation passed away, and another generation comes, but the earth abides forever. In reality, what he's saying is, people die, or one people born, another people die, but the earth is still the same, and it's still here, and it still abides, and it still remains. That's what he's saying. So nothing seems to change in reality. The earth appears to abide forever. Even generation one man comes and goes. Verse 5 says, the sun also rises and the sun goes down and hasten to the place where it arose. The sun is constant with its rising and setting. At verse 6 it says, the wind goes towards the south and turns around the north. The wind whirls about continually and comes again on its circuit. So the wind continues their whirling cycle. And lastly, verse 7, it says, all the rivers running to the sea, yet the sea is not full. To the place from which the river comes, they return again. Once again, he's telling us, nothing changed. It's a cycle. The water also have the cycle. First, the rivers goes into the sea, and then we see the evaporation go into heaven, and then the rain once again. So all is a cycle. For that very reason, this observation of Solomon, it is very true. Nothing seems to change. And when nothing seems to change, and always is the same, and it's always repetitive, and always is a cycle, you know what happened? Or you know what is next? It's monotony. When always is the same, the same, the same. I'm surprised about Solomon with all his resources, talking about riches, pleasures, possessions, wisdom, everything. He finds the life very monotonous. He finds his life very, monotonous because nothing seems to change. Everything is the same. And I'm pretty sure you feel the same way, when you eat something always the same, the same, the same, the same, the same. You feel like bored. Or if you go to a place, like perhaps your job, always the same, the same, the same. Sooner or later, it's going to become monotonous, and you're not going to like it. You're going to feel like bored, like what's wrong? It's meaningless. It's nothing, interesting here. And even him, like I said, with all his resources, he finds, life as a result very, very monotonous. So think about that. If we are always working, or we want to do something in this, or if we just focus in this life, everything is cycles. Cycles. Nothing will change. Everything will be the same. If I believe, you and me, will never have the resources of King Solomon. I'm sorry, but I don't think you ever going to be as rich as him. I don't think you and me, we're going to be as wise as him. And I don't think you and me will enjoy what he enjoyed, talking about all the pleasures. And talking about also, having not just gold and land, but also lots of slaves, lots of things, even music bands for himself, as we're going to see later. But still, he finds life monotonous. Monotonous. And if we are going to only see life from that point of view, like whatever we do here, this is it, or we don't say it, or we don't believe it, but sometimes we act like that, then everything becomes monotonous. Even if you become very rich, even if you become, having a lot of possession, it's still going to be very monotonous, because this is a cycle. Everything is the cycles. So the futility of in the cycle of life, the first significant observation that King Solomon's look, nothing seems to change. Nothing. Look at nature, it seems nothing ever changed. It just go in cycles and remain the same. So these words, like what I shared earlier, of the Apostle Paul in the letter to the church of Colossians in chapter 3, what he says, set your minds on things on earth. That's what it says? No. Right away he left that. It says, set your mind on things above. Because if you set your mind on things on this earth, what is going to happen? You're going to get bored. You're going to get bored because it's useless. It's meaningless. It's not worth it. And this great observation, from King Solomon, wow, it can help us that our life, cannot be monotonous. because he took that route and experienced that, and still he found monotonous, monotonous. But I'm pretty sure it will be exciting if we set our minds on things about God. Remember, is not focused more on your happiness here on earth. And you maybe you're gonna say, well, what do you think, Pastor? God doesn't want me to be happy. Yeah, He wants you to be happy, but not more than He wants to sanctify you, that you want to be holy. So instead of He wants to be, he's interested in your happiness, but no more than your holiness. So think about that and meditate, because this great observation, nothing seems to change. Secondly, is what we find on verse 8. And let me read first verse 8. Verse 8 says, all things are full of labor, and I cannot express it. The eye is not satisfied with seeing, nor ear is filled with hearing. So second significant observation is nothing seems to satisfy. Nothing seems to satisfy. The eye never is tired to see. The ear is never tired to hear. We always, are looking for more. Maybe in the past, this seems like not too logical. It seems more logical here, because I know some people, I don't think if I have done that, but probably yes, earlier, like watching TV for many hours. But I heard people who watch TV for days and never get tired and tiring. They're looking for TV, and they always wanted more and more, or listen, to things, and never tired. But because there will be no satisfaction. So in the same way, we want to work a lot. So thinking that we're truly going to be satisfied, but in reality, despite all our labors, men and women never truly be satisfied. We always want, desire to see more, to have more, to enjoy more. So what satisfaction one may think they have is only apparent and fleeting. So it can be, I'll satisfy with these, but it's just a matter of time that you will be wanting or desiring something else. Have you heard, the phrase, only 10% more and I'll be happy? There's a lot of people who think that way, who feel that way. I have heard people who say, if I only have a house with a swimming pool, I'll be happy. I'll be satisfied in my life. That's what I just desire, to have my house and then a swimming pool. After work, I can go to my swimming pool and enjoy it, and I will be happy. And you think that person is right or wrong? Say it. Wrong. It's right and wrong. It's right because they will be happy, but for how long? Just for how long? It will be just a matter of time, and that person, will be asking for something else. Or people who said, I have heard, if they only pay me so much more, I'll be happy. I'll not be complaining. I'll be satisfied. I'll be enjoying. I'll be a great worker. And that is true. Yeah, it is true. Only probably 1 week. Sometimes only 2 or 3 days. and they will be complaining for more. For more. For more. For more. Because nothing seems to satisfy. That's his observation. All things are full of labor. Man cannot express it. The eyes is not satisfied with seeing, nor the ear filled with hearing. We always want to see something else. We always want to hear something. We always want to enjoy something. We always want to have something. Always, always more, more, more. But in reality, it's just a matter of time. As soon as we obtain that, later we will desire something else. So nothing seems to satisfy. No matter how much hard, how hard you work, no matter how much things that you will obtain, because that's the reason that we work, right? To obtain, to have things that we desire, that we want, that we think that those things are going to give us the satisfaction that we are looking for. Not just you think that way, everybody thinks that way. But the observation is nothing seems to satisfy. Nothing seems. Never tired to see. Let me ask, the woman, sometimes do you get tired to see the soap operas, teleseries, telenovelas? In Spanish, telenovelas. I heard that in Tagalog, teleseries. But everything, back to point first, to observation number one, everything is the same, right? Everything is the same. In the soap opera, what happened? They met, they fell in love, and there's some problem, tragedy, or whatever. They separate, and then they finally they come back together, a happy ending, and that's it. Everything is the same. But soap operas, teleseries, telenovelas, they don't came 2-3 years ago. They're being here, since the radio, since they were, alive. And the radio, you start to listen to the teleseries, and then now through television, always is the same. And the people, women, especially women, they still, enjoying the teleseries. In the same way with sports, to be partial, to be fair, the sports is the same, always, right? To be honest, I used to enjoy sports a lot, like baseball, soccer, but lately, not too much. I don't know, maybe because I'm a weird person, but I'm not enjoying too much. But one thing of the sports that I cannot get rid of is just boxing. I still enjoy boxing. Even if you fall asleep, one way or another, I try to stay awake so I can watch boxing. But once again, sports is the same. 3 things: either you win, lose, or tie. That's it. That's the same, right? Either it's going to win, lose, or die. Everything is the same, but sports didn't come up 2 or 3 years ago. It's been here since the ancient times. Since, apparently everybody says that everything starts in Greek, right? In, how do you say, Athens? Athens. And still very popular. And people do not get tired to see sports, to enjoy sports, because they never will be satisfied. It's raining, they don't care, they go. It's snowing, they go. It's very hot, warm, they go. They have to pay over $1,000, $3,000, even $5,000 for a ticket to watch, this fight or this event, sport event. They'll go. Why? Because they like to waste their money? Because they like to spend money? No, because they're not tired. And they're not tired to that because they're not satisfied. They're not satisfied. So once again, wonderful observation. What a significant observation. Number 1, nothing seems to change. Number 2, nothing seems to satisfy. The more that you see, the more that you want to see. The more that you have, the more that you will desire to have more. The more that you obtain, the more that you're gonna go and look for more, right? Or ask the ladies, why is not enough with 5 pairs of shoes? I'm gonna be in trouble. Why? Always, believe it or not, I like to also buy a lot of shoes, tennis shoes. I'm not gonna buy it anymore because I'm not gonna buy it anymore because I'm not gonna work no more starting Monday. So no more discounts. So now everything is expensive. But never satisfied. If you already have the red ones, well, you want the blue ones. And if you already have the red one, the blue ones, you will go for the black ones. And if you have all those three, well, you go for one that says red, black, and blue. But you have to have it. And if something new comes, apparently new, you want to have that. Because you're never going to get tired. It doesn't matter if you have 2,000 pairs of shoes. Or 2,000, handbags. Because you will never find the satisfaction by saying, wow, this is it. I am satisfied. And if you say that, probably you're not saying the truth. I believe that you can restrain yourself and you can say no more. It's not okay to have more. But you still desire that. But it says no more, no more. But it's still the desire because nothing seems to satisfy. Number 3. Once again, I'll give you the reminder again. The futility of certain cycles of life. Number 1, nothing seems to change. Number 2, nothing seems to satisfy. And third and last is what we find on verse 9 through 11. Nothing is new under the sun. Nothing is new. People think, no. We have this new thing. We have this new way. This is new. But in reality, nothing is new. Verse 9 says, that which has been in what will be, that which is done is what will be done. And there is nothing new under the sun. If there's anything on which it may be said, see, this is new, it has already been in ancient times before us. There is no remembrance of former things, nor will there be any remembrance of things that are to come, but those who will come after. What will be done is that which has been done. Simple. And probably you can ask this question, and it's a fair question. What about our modern technology advances? Yeah, what about it? Did it exist before? Well, let me answer to you. What about the technology to create the pyramids of Egypt? What about it? What about the technology that it was used in South America, in Peru, by the Incas when they built a city so high in the mountains? What kind of technology was that? It's amazing. The technology today, we still don't know for sure what kind of technology they use. That is amazing. So what about the technology today? Well, I think it already exists before. Nothing is new under the sun. So when somebody comes to you and says, see this new thing, or see this new thing, what I'm saying, already exists before. Already exists. So, what a great observation. What a significant observation. Nothing is new under the sun. Why we are trying to look for something new? that maybe think that thing we believe that is going to satisfy or satisfy so we can have a change in our life. But in reality, do not exist. Those new. What exists already here, already exists in the past. Would somebody do something new here? Somebody already did it in the past. So the vanity of life, you know how futile it is, how meaningless, how important it is to not focus too much. I mean, we have to have that balance. We have to have that balance. Not not to be like, I'm not gonna focus here at all. That means I'm not gonna work. I'm gonna be like the birds. You know, I'm just gonna be walking, and whatever I find in the street, I will eat. No, we still gotta work. We still gotta do something. We still gotta build a house. We still have to, provide for our family, for our future. But the thing is, are we going to do it more than what God is telling us in His Word to set our mind on things about or here? That's the question. Everything is vanity. All is vanity. And once again, that all is not relative, is absolute. All is vanity, meaningless. Later, we're going to be seeing, what really are the good things. I don't know if in next lesson, but what are the good things? Do you really, you know, have the real meaning? God, wants that you know that you live that. But today or tonight, we're gonna stay with the three significant observation, and I hope that you and me meditate and live with that. Once again, for one more time, I'll say, nothing seems to change, nothing seems to satisfy, nothing is new under the sun. Let us pray. Father, we thank you once again for the inspiration that you give to your son, Salomon. Thank you for this wonderful uh, book, very interesting book that show us but the meaningless vanity of life. Father, we believe that you create us for a purpose, that we are here for a reason, and your desire is not that we get bored or that we live in an unsatisfied way. I think that you want that we live life to the full, that you're looking that we live joyful life, enjoying you and your presence and the work that we do for you. And as a preamble, we can go with you for eternity and live the real life. But we can enjoy, we can start enjoying this life now, but it will be the climax as we get there for an eternity with you. Help us to understand. Help us to really set our minds on things about, because that's what is worth after all. In Jesus Christ, we thank you for the meditation of your word tonight. Amen.